Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. The first thing I want to talk about is just that tomorrow, April 14th, is the 10-year anniversary of The Legend of Korra. April 14th, 2012 was the TV premiere date of the first two episodes of Legend of Korra. Though fans who have been in the fandom for a while will know that the first two episodes were available to view a couple of weeks before the premiere date. So people have watched it before, and so their technical anniversary of seeing Korra for the first time is a little bit before April 14th, but it makes sense, the actual premiere date for most people is going to be the remembered date. So the question obviously is is anything significant going to happen tomorrow from a news perspective? It's very difficult to judge because based on previous sort of anniversaries, the answer would be no. But this is the first, I suppose, significant anniversary that we've hit since the sort of resurgence in popularity. Sort of in a way, since the Netflix show's been announced, since Avatar Studio has been announced, and the 10-year anniversary is always a significant one. So will they do anything, or will this just be a social media post on all of the Avatar official social media channels? Who knows? The obvious problem with this is that there's basically no Korra merchandise or anything Korra specific really happening. It's very unfortunate that, like we're going to talk about in the first news article here, news piece here, Patterns in Time keeps getting delayed. If this had kept its original date, it would be out yesterday. It would have been out yesterday, today in comic book stores. We would have Patterns in Time if it kept its date. Perfect timing just ahead of the anniversary. And I believe it originally did have some tagline on it about the anniversary, but now it really doesn't. So the only thing that's really mentioning it is that I think it's mentioned on the art books that are out this year for Korra, but they weren't really planned for this year. They just happened to be out this year, just with the way things have worked out. In terms of figures and stuff like that, we know McFarlane have the license for Korra, but we haven't seen them announce anything. We haven't even seen them announce Wave 2 of the larger scale figures of Avatar. So they're very kind of slow on that. The only Korra figure we have is the pop-up parade Korra from Good Small Company, which again we haven't even got official pictures of that yet. So it's unclear if that will even be out this year or not. Probably not, or it might just sneak in as an end of year release. We'll have to wait and see on that. So if anything's going to happen, it's going to have to be an announcement of something. It would be cool if McFarlane did announce Korra figures for the first time. The only sort of more significant thing I could maybe see happening is Korra soundtrack, but that has been up and down over the years in terms of Jeremy Zuckerman teasing good progress, and he's working with Avatar Studios now, so we'll have to wait and see what's happening there. We know Nickelodeon is working on their own music label, so we'll see if that maybe helps things or not. But right now, my initial sort of speculation for the anniversary is probably that it will be officially acknowledged on the social medias, but it will literally just be a post for them to say, here's the anniversary. I hope there's more. I really do, because I think Korra deserves to have a big anniversary like this, celebrated. In terms of myself, in terms of covering this, I will have a video out on the 14th. It's part of a project. I won't go too much into it because you'll probably see it tomorrow. Myself and a bunch of other YouTubers are going to have similar types of videos talking about Korra up tomorrow. So you'll see my video on that tomorrow. And we'll also be talking about it pretty heavily, the anniversary for Korra, on the podcast on Saturday. So we're going to be having the discussion about, what things were like back in sort of book one Korra fandom, how Korra's gone over the years, the sort of, ups and downs, how it's kind of been, I suppose, treated, I suppose, over the years. And we will be reviewing K101 and K102 to sort of celebrate these were the episodes that launched Korra. So definitely check out that podcast, rewatch those first two episodes as well, so you can join that discussion with us on the podcast when it releases on Saturday. Other than that, it's just it's great that Korra has reached this anniversary. It doesn't feel like it's been 10 years, but it has. Um, I hope something happens and it gets, treated well, because, we've seen the ups and downs of, like, uh, generally most people will probably, be a little bit critical of it if you look online, but if you get the right discussion opener, you can see more of the positivity approach to Korra. But yeah, we'll discuss that more over the coming days as we actually hit the anniversary and see if they decide to do anything. But yeah, the first piece of news is this. It seems like Legend of Korra Patterns in Time has been delayed again. So I think this is delay 6, 7, perhaps. It's now coming out 13th of September 2022. This means that at the very least, this book has been delayed, I think, once every month since it has been announced. It obviously was announced for April initially, now it's into September, so it's received 5 months of delays after basically only really being announced like 5 months ago. So that's pretty bad, that's pretty extreme. I get it, there's still printing, shipping issues, COVID is still a bit of a problem. But the fact that these Avatar Korra books cannot keep a date for more than a month at this stage is pretty crazy. I checked. The Chibi comic still seems to have its original date, but we're still relatively early in the month, and usually the sort of updated dates for the new solicitations don't happen until later in the month. So I wouldn't be surprised if that stuff changes again. But at this point, I think a lot of people are so negative with what's happening with that book that they're just like, yeah, I just hope it comes out this year at some point. But it's not a good look that these short story collections, they just cannot seem to keep the dates on them at all. I don't think there's much else to really say about it other than, like, I wish there was preview pages that actually showed us what some of the books were about so that we could at least speculate about it. Thankfully, we do have the free comic book day coming out on May 7th. So that is going to feature a Korra story. Even though Avatar is the cover story, it does have a Korra story in it as well. Again, unfortunately, like Patterns in Time, we don't know any information about the new content. Like what the new stories in Patterns in Time are, or what either of the Avatar stories is about. Other than that, it looks like the ATLA story involves Aang and might be set in or around book 3 time if you read into his outfit, but who knows. Next, we move into some merchandise, and this is actually a really cool piece of merchandise news. So, Dark Horse Comics have announced, well, I guess they've been revealed rather than announced, because this IGN store seems to be the only place that has these two figures. So it is a Zuko and a Katara PVC figure from Dark Horse Comics. So you can see here, approximately 6 inches high, approximately 6.5 inches high, PVC, Dark Horse Comics. They're both, oh no, actually, they have separate dates, actually. The Katara is out in October, and the Zuko is out in December. So you can see here, approximately 6.5 inches tall with a 1/2 inch tall base. Base diameter is approximately 6 inches as well. And they don't really go into the details of this one here. $60. They're up for pre-order apparently, but they're sold out. I'm guessing what's happened here is that it's not actually sold out. They just have this listing up early before it's been quote unquote officially announced. Because, like I said, I've not seen these listings anywhere else. Someone else had to tell me about these even existing in the first place, so that was kind of interesting. But yeah, for anyone wondering in that, like, oh, is this a Dark Horse, like, was it Dark Horse Direct thing? No, the fact that this is listed for pre-order on a website that is not Dark Horse Direct means that it is just a mass release product. So obviously you'll probably have to go to a comic store more than likely to get it, but it will be available where they sell these type of figures. Now, as for taking a look at them here, so there's the original look at Zuko in the pose. I actually really like these. I love the way that the bases look with the sort of kind of sand-like effect, and then it has the symbol of what element they're using on it. It feels like they're taking a lot of what was good about the Diamond Select figures, but just making it a little bit more sort of like almost like realistic or accurate to the show, in that the Diamond Select figures are so cool and stylish, but the bending that the characters are using isn't perhaps the most realistic to the show. So they're kind of like almost extreme poses, but that works for a statue. What they've done here, though, is I like that they're kind of taking a more kind of a nuanced approach to it, of just, it's still a nice dynamic pose, but it's something you can definitely see the character using in an episode. So I do like this quite a bit. With the Zuko, I think the only slight issue that I would have is, if we take a look here, is just that the face, and I think it's just the mouth and the fact that they have him kind of mouth wide open, but the face doesn't look super like intense like he's attacking. It's just a little bit weird of just a sort of like kind of pose. It's not like awful, but it's not like perfect is kind of what I'd say. I still overall like it, and if they are going to have, say, like an Aang and a Toph to complete the bases with the elements, I'd have no problem also having the Zuko in my collection. But the Katara, I think, looks great. There's not a lot of Katara Book 3 merchandise out there, in that it's basically just the Diamond Select figure, and that's it. And with the Diamond Select diorama, the only issue I had with that is that I didn't think that they got Katara's face quite right. In person, it's fine, but I still feel it's a little bit off. Here, though, I do think it feels very accurate to the way she looks in most scenes. And that's the thing that I do like about these, is that the Diamond Select ones are more the artist, the sculptor's own style, kind of. These feel like they're very much trying to be screen accurate. And again, the pose and what Katara is actually doing feels realistic. It feels like something that she would actually do in the show. You can see the water symbol on her base. Nice stance. The hair is obviously quite detailed here, especially the kind of lower part here. You've got the hair loopy, the kind of water pouches on her back. I wish there was a few more pictures that showed a few different angles, in that there's not... I wish there was like a head-on shot that shows just Katara looking directly at the camera. It feels like parts of the figure are sort of almost like hidden because of that. Like what's just behind like this piece of hair, like to get a closer look at the kind of like neck area, you could sort of see in there here, but they don't quite give you the kind of head-on shot. But I do really like it. I think for sure, if this is available for pre-order from somewhere that I can realistically like order from, I will be getting the Katara for absolute sure. And then we'll go from there. I suppose it works out nicely that it seems like Katara is actually the first one for October, and then Zuko is later, because I actually like this one better. So kind of put the pre-order in for this, maybe get it, see how it works, and then get the Zuko. The problem is these at times can be like, tricky with regards to like availability, but we'll wait and see. I like what they've done here. Dark Horse, when they previously did Avatar Korra figures, I think they set the price point like a little too high. They went a bit too far into the high price point stuff, in that it was more closer to like 100, whereas this is just past the $50 point, and it's getting towards being quite expensive, but it looks quite good, and I think that actually ends up being a pretty nice price point for this style of figure. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see, obviously, when they properly announce these, in terms of like they're listed on the Dark Horse website. More places have them up for pre-order, in that it's actually a little odd in a way that they're starting with Katara and Zuko, because usually Aang would always be in the first wave of this, and it's almost like interesting that Aang isn't done here straight away. I assume he will be probably next, with Toph, so just so you complete the set of the bases having all the elements, which might be the only other thing that maybe prevents some people from making the pre-order, is until they confirm that they are in fact going to do at least 2 other figures with the other elemental kind of bases to cover everyone. Some people might hold off, but you know, there's not a lot of Katara merchandise out there, especially Book 3 Katara, so I'm very, very interested in this. So yeah, that's basically everything I wanted to talk about here in the video. So like I said, do you have any expectations for the anniversary tomorrow in terms of like something actually happening beyond just, you know, the fandom is going to celebrate Korra tomorrow? Like I said, I will have a video, kind of interesting one out tomorrow, part of a kind of YouTuber project, and then these Dark Horse figures here. What are your thoughts on these statues for Katara and Zuko? But other than that, that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.